guys, today I'll be giving you guys my top 6 list on the best legendary quirk on Heroes Online. So this first list is by no means my favorite quirk list, or my favorite legendary quirk list. If it were, it's going to be a little bit different. And then at the very end of the video, as a little bonus, I will be including my favorite quirk list for Heroes Online as well, for legendaries. So hopefully this list will, I'm not sure it's going to help you guys out because it's a bit opinionated, but I'm going to be trying to make the first list for like most people, being as honest as possible, and then I'm going to be doing like my little bonus list, which will be completely opinionated. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this little video right over here. So now let's get started with the list. Okay, so now we're going to be starting off with the best legendary quirks in Heroes Online top 6 list. So starting off with number 6, I think most people might have expected this, but it is Hellflame. In my opinion, I just don't like this quirk a lot. The attacks are kind of easy to block, well, at least the auto-attacking ones. The force attack is bad, and then it is a good quirk overall, but compared to the other legendaries, it's kind of meh, in my opinion. So, once again, it is a pretty good quirk. This is actually my very first legendary quirk in the game. I was pretty happy when I got it. But it is, once again, pretty good quirk. It also has those stun attacks, which I do like and can be very helpful. But, once again, compared to the other legendary quirks, I just don't find it to be as good. Okay, so number 5 on this list is 1-4 Prime. So I do like this quirk a lot. It's a very high damage dealing legendary quirk, one of the highest in the game, I think. So if you really want to deal high damage, this might be the quirk for you. But it's kind of lacking behind the other quirks, in my opinion. So it's, once again, very high damage dealing. Does give you a speed boost and a jump boost when you use the Awakening. But the Awakening is just one attack, and the attack is just okay. And then overall, I do like the attacks, but compared to some other legendaries, I don't really think they're as good as the other ones. Once again, it's really good, much better than Hellflame, but compared to the other legendaries, it's not that good. And number 4, as much as it pains me to say this, it is Fat Absorption. For most people, I think it might be like a number 4, but in my opinion, it's like the best quirk in the game, or the second best quirk in the game. I just love this quirk so much, but this, once again, you kind of have to be a little skilled user, or you just got to get used to using it, because if you don't know how to use it properly, it can be a pretty bad quirk. So, this one, I'm not too much of a fan of the Frost move. When I've had it, I didn't really like the Frost move. I didn't use it at all, barely, because I just kind of hated it. But the last 2 moves were very, very nice. The Awakening is kind of meh, but you can use it to get a speed and jump boost. And then also, once again, you can use it for like all the fat that you stored up. You can unleash it all at once. Well, yeah, it's the same as like the last attack with Fat Absorption, but, or like all the damage that you stored up, you can land on the ground with the last attack. But it's pretty much the same thing with the Awakening, but it does have a much larger radius, which is pretty helpful. So with this quirk, you have a pretty short cooldown, and then you can store all damage taken from dealt at you for 3 seconds. The cooldown's like 12-14 seconds, which isn't too bad. And then you can just keep on storing up damage, and then you can just throw back the all the damage to whoever you want to do it to. So it's very, very helpful, and once again, one of my favorite quirks in the game. But you do gotta be good at using it for it to be good, and also I'm not too much of a fan of the force attack at all. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to number 3, which is Overhaul. So Overhaul, I love this quirk so much. I actually have it as my secondary quirk, as you can see right over there from the moveset. So the thing is, this one has healing, so it can heal, like for me, I think I did like 150 health, but at 400 quirk control, which is pretty helpful, so you can heal a nice amount. And then you got very long range moves, as you can see right over here. I can actually show it to you guys. You can have this, which does a nice amount of damage, and then you also got auto-tracking pillars, which will track the nearest enemy, and you'll shoot out 3 of them, and it does a nice amount of damage as well. It does move a bit slow, though, and also there were a lot of nerfs done to Overhaul recently. The healing ability got nerfed a little bit, but you did get an increased melee damage, which is kind of nice after all the nerfs that this received. But this might have been like the best quirk in the game, If they haven't nerfed it, I'm kind of glad that they did nerf it. But now I would say it's like the third best quirk in Heroes Online. Once again, you can't go wrong with this quirk. It's one of the best quirks in the game, and if you do get it, I suggest you keep it because it is a very, very versatile quirk. You can use it at close range, long range, medium range, whatever, but I don't really like the Awakening much. It is very good for melee attacks and stuff like that, but compared to the other Awakenings, I just don't like the moves at all, really. Like the first Awakening attack, that one, you can't be too close to your enemy, and it's more like a medium range one. If you're too close to your enemy, it won't do any damage at all, which is kind of sucky. And it does do a nice amount of damage, but compared to the other Awakenings and some other stuff, I just don't think the Awakening is that good, in my opinion. That kind of made it lose a little bit of points for me. But once again, very, very good quirk, and you cannot go wrong with it. And now the next quirk that I have, actually I did say it does have auto tracking, which is really nice. I think I did say that. But once again, very, very nice quirk. Okay, the next quirk is All for One. So this one it's pretty versatile as you can adapt to different situations and steal multiple quirks. This is one of my favorite quirks in the game. I actually currently have it on my alternative account, and I do really love using it right over on that account. So it does a nice amount of damage. It has very, very high knockback, which I really appreciate, at least on the first move. The second move does it stuns your enemy, and it does have like a nice close to medium range. It doesn't do too much damage, well, it does do a nice amount of damage, about the same damage as the overhaul attacks, and also makes it so your enemy cannot use their quirk for 5 seconds, I'm pretty sure, and also does stun them, as I said earlier, which is very, very useful. And then you can also steal enemies' quirks, so that can be very, very useful for like adapting to different situations and stuff. So that is All for One. And now I'm going to be saying the Awakening for All for One. I was about to move on with All for One, but I forgot, from All for One to One for All. But I did forget to talk about the Awakening. In my opinion, the Awakening is one of the best in the game, probably my second favorite out of all of the Awakenings. So, this one, you have 2 attacks. The first attack, it's super high damage. You jump up in the air, and then it is stationary, which kinda is a little bit sucky, so if your enemies notice it, they can dodge it, but it does have a wide range of attack, and it is very powerful, and the cooldown isn't even that long, which is very nice. So, it's like a big air blast. You jump up in the air, so you're pretty much invulnerable unless somebody uses overhaul on you, and then you just smash the ground with like air pressure or wet air pressure. It looks insanely cool, and it's insanely strong. And the second Awakening attack, it is very, very nice, but it is more of a close range one. But once again, very, very nice attack, which also does a ton of damage. So those are the Awakening attacks for All for One. Well, I didn't showcase it, but that's just my opinion on the Awakening. And also, one of my favorite Awakening stat boosts, I think it's the only Awakening that gives you extra health in the game, at least for legendaries, which I really do appreciate. So, it also has a nice quirk control boost, and then the strength boost isn't too big, but there is a strength boost as well, which I do appreciate. And now, moving on to number 1, as I said earlier, it is going to be One for All. So, in my opinion, this is the very best quirk in the game, and my favorite quirk in the game. So, it is more of a close range quirk, but the Awakening is pretty much the best Awakening in the game. You got 3 attacks, which is a ton, more than you'll need, I think. So you have like a 5% smash. If you get the full gauntlet, you can upgrade that to the 20% smash, which increases range for that attack, and I also think it increases damage. And then also you get like a really long range kick attack, dealing tons of damage. And then also you have the kick where you jump up in the air and then you smash the ground, which I really like. It's probably one of my favorite attacks in the game. It's pretty similar to Dual Thunder. I think it might be a bit better than Dual Thunder. It's a higher damage than the Dual Thunder ground slam, which I really like. So those are the moves with One for All. That's the Awakening, and also has a very nice stat boost as well. So the normal attacks, also, yeah, I did forget to mention, the Awakening also gives you a speed and jump boost, which is very, very nice. And then for the normal attacks, I also really, really like the normal attacks. You have a normal Detroit Smash, so you guys can see right over here. I'm not too much of a fan of that attack. It's pretty nice, and it does have a nice amount of knockback. This quirk has a lot of knockback, which is pretty nice about it. So if you really like having a knockback quirk, as I do, this one might be wonderful. You might really like it even more. It's already an amazing quirk, and then you have the ton of knockback, which is very nice. So you have that attack with a nice amount of knockback, a ton of damage. Ground Smash, it's probably the worst attack in this quirk, but very good still. And then Delaware Smash, I love this attack so much. You do like a few medium to high damage attacks, and then you're gonna enter in a 50-second cooldown. But the thing is, you have no cooldown at all between those 5 attacks. So you have just a 1-second cooldown, so it's very spammable, and then also a nice amount of knockback. And while you're waiting for your other moves to cool down, this is pretty nice to use, so you don't have to rely on melee attacks. So I really like that. So that is what I think are the best quirks in Heroes Online. So number 6, Hellflame. Number 5, One For All Prime. Number 4, Fat Absorption. Number 3, Overhaul. Number 2, All For One. And number 1 is One For All. So number 2 is All For One, and then number 1 is One For All. And now I'm gonna be getting on to my favorite quirk list for this game. So, in my opinion, this is once again completely opinionated, as was the first list, but this is going to be very much so opinionated because this is just my favorite quirks in the game. So, number 6, it's going to be Hellflame, and then number 5, One For All Prime, the same as the best quirks list. And now this is where it gets switched up. Number 4 is going to be Overhaul. Number 3 is going to be All For One. Number 2 is going to be Fat Absorption. And then number 1 is going to be One For All. So that is going to be my favorite quirks list for this video as like a little bonus thingy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to 2 Kids in a Pod if you want some more videos like this one. I'm not sure this video helped you out a lot. It's mostly for like entertainment purposes, but maybe it helped you out a little bit, possibly. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys!